Within video game design, there's been a bit of a trend recently with multiple games picking up a roguelike progression system, or more specifically, the game design idea of complete level or complete stage, and hence earn random reward from choice of rewards as power up. And while it is a progression system that isn't without faults, its growth and popularity does include its implementation in some pretty major titles from Hades to Slay the Spire, and of course in entries like Balatro. The general idea is no two runs will be the same, but of course the random nature of the upgrades means, for example, you can't really pre-plan a specific build before going into your run. What I mean to say is that like any system, there are advantages and disadvantages to it, but it has nevertheless left me wondering, what would such a progression system look like in Europa Universalis 5? So to discover that, I've implemented it in the form of a mod, and it's frankly not that complicated, but certainly easier to explain in-game, so let's go and get into that. But before we do, just a quick pit-stop to say that a like would be appreciated, and a subscription would be amazing, but enough self-shitting, let's get into that game as promised. So here we are in the game. I've loaded in as England for this demonstration, and the way it works is rather simple. Well, I say simple, it's pretty simple as a player point of view in terms of how it works. If we take a look at the tech tree from the Age of Renaissance onwards, every single technology is replaced with a modifier called Technology Rolls +1. And in essence, what it does is it gives you +1 rolls on your technologies for every single advance that exists in the game. Wonderful. It does mean that, for example, if you have unique advances for the Catholics here, or if you are England, you would normally have the SM Ordinance here, you're still going to get an extra opportunity to roll a +1 modifier, but this doesn't actually give you your unique ability, because every single unlock, every single thing like your naval batteries, your ships, your shipyards, your flintlock levies, everything is put into a pool of technologies, right? And every time you get one of these, you roll a event that gives you, at random, 3 of the things you haven't unlocked. Now, the first age works a little bit differently, namely because in the first age, there's a lot of technologies that are kind of important. For example, it's a bit hard to play the game if you don't have the ability to mine copper, tin, or lead. And also, for example, in the things like, well, mining coal and iron, again, you kind of get the point. There's a lot of base game doing things abilities, like levying taxes, for example, that are actually just unlocked through these early technologies. So yeah, for example, the taxation technology, if you ever played a native in EU5, you would have realized this. You can't actually tax people or invest in stability if you don't have this technology. Also, can get subjects requires you to get this technology over here. So in essence, so you can actually play the game and you don't need to go randomly gamble for the ability to, that's right, build cities, because urbanizing is a technology, or, you guessed it, build roads. Building any roads requires you to enable road building. Well, all of the Age 1 technologies come with tech rolls +1, but they also come with their base bonuses. This does have the slight side effect where these initial technologies are the best in the game, technically, as they give you a tech roll and an extra institution growth or whatever, and obviously unlocking meritocracy later will be quite nice as well. But beyond that, quality of life change for the start. Oh, and also just so we're on the same page, it does mean that initial setup works, because for example, if you have a building in London, in this case a poultry guild, but you actually don't have the technology for it, it gets deleted, so everyone's initial setup is preserved by doing this technological setup. Well, anyway, my point is that's how the system works. And you can unlock quite literally everything. So you can unlock buildings, you can unlock unique advances from other nations, you can unlock unique like buffs from other nations. So for example, unlocking the Janissary barracks and even the Janissary system. And even though you might be able to unlock something like a H5 unit, because yes, you can't just get that, you have to be very careful with that, because if you don't have a way to make guns, you can never actually use that H5 unit, for example. So there's a bit more nuance to it as well. But yeah, that's basically how the system works. So let's go ahead and use the system to hopefully win the 100 Years' War. Now, will England win the 100 Years' War if I let them do it? Absolutely not. No shot of that actually happening. So I'm going to be showing them how it's done in today's video. And also, I'll be honest, through the Observer, it's very hard to see the randomized tech rolls, so I think this is just a better way of demonstrating the mod. But yeah, let's go through the initial setup. I'm going to immediately head of cabinet our heir, who's going to be our dynasty members and give us a bit more crown power. He's going to go straight to diplomatic endeavors, because we will need improved relations and diprep as well, because we're going to be trying to persuade some of the French chaps to change sides. Then we're going to grab Sir Miles Stapleton over here, who's going to be doing some integration for us. We do start with Berwick, and we need to actually call the thing right. We're going to ban the export of gold and silver, so we get more money from minting. We're going to automate all our taxes and max spend cost of court, and as weird as this might sound, I'd love to be max dip spending as well, because I have a lot of plans to do with my subjects. That being said, actually, take a look at subjects. Okay, they are all loyal, Let's hopefully keep it that way. It's an expensive proposition, but I'm gonna, well, hope to get away with it. We don't need to be spending on stability at the moment. And let's get a better picture of our income by also automating trades, so be clear after a month or two what we're actually meant to be working with in terms of income expenditure. We don't need Cornwall stockades, I'll be honest. We don't need the stockades, so I'm going to be deleting those. As for castles, I'll be keeping those two in our subjects because, well, we're not paying for them. Our subjects are paying for them, so that's good. We'll keep the one in London because it's half price, but I will be getting rid of this one pretty close to London. We don't need a castle in Dover. It's a shame, actually. Dover Castle's quite nice, but yeah, we absolutely don't need them. So they're all gone. Since I don't intend to play this campaign for long, I just need to win the 100 Years' War, I'm going to bypass autocracy, which is what I'd normally go down, and actually pick up feudal nobility as our opening reform. I don't think this is a bad play overall. I think it's even fine to switch out of those reform later. I think it's a pretty strong reform early though. We will also give the nobility elite council. We're going to go ahead and strengthen our faith, and also pick up religious administration and religious advisory council. Beautiful. For the burghers, we'll give them control over coinage and urban development grants, which is a very powerful privilege because it gives you monthly development, again, even outside of urban provinces, so it's actually just a very nice privilege to have. Weirdly enough though, I don't think it's going to matter us for too much, it's just a good habit to grant this thing out. The peasants frankly have too many privileges already, so I won't be touching them. Finally, back to the nobility, and the reason I've done this is for estate loyalty distributions. Well, we're going to go ahead and give them nobility-controlled serfdom, which is quite nice. And I also like offensive military doctrine early, 5% morale is nothing to scoff at. Beautiful. We're going to go straight into the extra monthly diplomat, and then pick up the diplomatic capacity here, and then just grab the rest of the stuff. It's all pretty good, to be honest. And as for our heirs' education, well, I know you're meant to be a bit more shrewd, so you get some military and administrative abilities. I would absolutely, if I were playing this for the long term, give them an admin focus, but, well, it's time for war, so you're getting a military education. We're going to appoint our king as the leader of our army over here for some extra crown power. France is already our rival, as is Scotland. And I'm also going to go ahead and rival Denmark, mainly because we do need a rival, and I'll be honest, I'm still a bit annoyed at them at that one time they raided us. I say one time, it was quite a few times. Anyway, we're actually done. We haven't appointed a commander for the Navy. I don't believe we have anyone else left in the Crown Estate. No, all the people are already in the cabinet and things. Which means I'm not going to appoint anyone, as I don't want to have any of the estates gain any extra, well, estate power. They already have far too much estate power as is. But yeah, that's all we're going to do for our initial nation setup. Let's get to winning that 100 Years' War. So, don't mind me, just been improving relations with the French friends, and burning a spy network on them, as one does, but apparently France has demanded the surrender of this random person. I don't actually care about them. If this was me in real life, I would have absolutely said, yeah, sure, you can have them back. However, I'm going to say no to the French, because I can. And yep, the Crown of France, the 100 Years' War, has begun. Well, that's a pretty useful cabinet trait, I'm not going to lie, that's a pretty useful one indeed. Speaking of good things, Brittany wishes to defect. Well, our plan is certainly coming along very, very nicely. Beautiful. It's a bit of a pale Brittany, but I'll take it. Speaking of taking things, hey, Normandy? Oh, no, they're on a timer. I guess we can start working on Burgundy as well, but I'm just conscious of my finances. Let's put it this way, they're not. Could be better. They could be better. And alright, as you can see here, we've popped our first technology. We've gotten ourselves our improved religious organization, nice and acquired, but that's our +1 tech rolls. And we can choose between viceroys, which gives us, let's see, income from colonial subjects and diplomatic range. That's pretty useless. You go and pick up adaptive trade, which gives us merchant maintenance efficiency and selling efficiency. I mean, this is nice if we were, like, making more money from trade, but with our crown power, it's not too much. And the armories of Smolensk give us artillery power. We don't have artillery, so this is probably entirely useless as well. Alright, well, that's kind of how most rolls are going to be, basically. So I think we're going to go with adaptive trade. That at least does technically something. I don't think extra diplomatic range is going to do much of anything. So yeah, let's go with adaptive trade, and let's keep this going. If you're wondering how it worked, that's how it works. Every single tech we get this event for a tech roll. And now that we pick this up, we can never get adaptive trade ever again. End of the Scots Civil War. Right, so... Oh yeah, Badil won. I kept an eye on that. But yes, it seems that Badil did win. So I guess it's time to enforce that treaty. I hope they just kind of... Oh my god, wait, they... Beautiful. Well, don't mind if I do. And the rest of Scotland is a subject as well. Wonderful. What do you mean you're not loyal? You should probably work on improving relations with you, but beautiful. Let's do a little bit of debt spending to make sure you stay loyal. Yeah, I don't even need to do that much. Brittany is going to be disloyal for a bit anyway, so... Yeah, but Scotland is a prize worth keeping. Beautiful, especially this early. And yeah, I would like to go improve relations with you. So actually, let's just max improve. And And actually, I would like to improve relations, so I'm going to max spend on diplomacy to get an extra diplomat so I can get working on that. But yeah, wonderful. I'll take that. It does also present with a wonderful opportunity to basically entirely demilitarize Scotland now that they are eternally loyal to the cause. And they absolutely don't need the stockade either. Beautiful. Now, they still have a couple forts here and there, but that's fine. Our subjects are paying for those. And that's going to be quite nice for the economy. Once we've, well, stopped paying for everything. Ah, and now Artois wishes to defect. Well, I would have preferred Normandy or Flanders. I was in relations with Artois, but yeah, sure. Welcome to the fold, Artois. I'm going to spend a lot more on this whole diplomacy stuff, aren't I? Oh, God. Alright, there we go. We've had our next technology, and I can already see the Bill of Rights. Good start. But yep, we've got ourselves universal Christianity, a pretty good thing, because we're running pretty low on the diplomats, all things considered. But what do we have as our choices? We have, as mentioned before, the Bill of Rights, which gives me that seems pretty good, I'll be honest. Okay. Or we can pick up divine church music. Okay, we're not doing that. Or prestigious monasticism. Okay. Not gonna lie. Orthodox monastery building cost is useful if we roll the tech for Orthodox monasteries. This implies I'm going to hire an artist, which I'm not going to do. And this is amazing. So I'm going to pick up the Bill of Rights. There we go, we've got adaptive trade and the Bill of Rights. Neat. Alright, 1341. Starting to prepare for the inevitable war with France. Also, hey, we've finished integrating. Nice. We have our next technology. We can pick up the Cosmopolitan Code of Caravoon. Okay, sure. And pick up Grand Princedom. Now that sounds good. That actually sounds really good, to be honest. Or Achaean Enlightenment. There's some very good rolls here, I'll be honest. But while I think Achaean Enlightenment would have been just the absolute play here without question, 10% morale is pretty good. Especially this early. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I think I'm gonna just go with Grant's Princeton for 10% morale. Like, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. Ah, well, I guess my wish came true a bit earlier than I expected. I did say I have to go to war with the French, and I think the French decided to do that for me. So let's raise all levies. Let's raise all boats as well. We're gonna need them. All of our subjects are on defensive, they're going to be staying on defensive. I think the plan is land in Artois. We can at least mildly oversupply with boats from Artois and across Dover, and then just push into France and Paris proper. Weirdly enough, because we have this fort here, we can basically go straight to Paris, so that might have to be the play. And if I'm not mistaken, can we just take the Union? No, I don't think we can. Oh no, never mind, it is here, although it's also 176 war score, so that might be the issue. Although, if we can just get there, okay. At least 15% locations in France owned by, yep, okay. We're gonna have to do some meeting to get there, right. Would love to connect our subjects as well. Or we can just take one Normandy for 92 war score, right. Could be an issue. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We need to, well, win the war first. But for the first battle, should be able to clean this up. Yep, no worries at all. Nice. Flat mill tactics is a very good modifier to pick up as well. Ah, I forgot. They're the slower subject. We can just take them. Huh. Well, I reward those loyal to the cause, so congratulations to these gentlemen over here. They are getting their first territorial expansion. Congratulations, good job. I will also be taking those 10 ducats though. Well, 5 I guess. But yeah, neat. Right, this should be yet again another pretty easy battle. If I'm not mistaken, they don't reinforce out of the void or anything. But yeah, I mean, if they're just going to let me walk around them like that for now, I think I will. I think I will be doing just that. Maybe I just take Normandy manually. I mean, the AE has to be disgusting, I presume. Not as bad as I thought it would be. Not as bad as I thought it would be. I guess I'm taking the full thing. Oh, also, for those wondering, what happens when the Age of Renaissance kicks off? Well, you do get a tech discount on all the previous age technologies. However, all of these techs give you +1 tech rolls, as you can see here. So what you actually pick here doesn't matter. I'm going to pick a diplomatic focus, I guess, for the fun of it. Or, you know what? Let's go mill focus this time. Just it doesn't matter, but if you're wondering how that works, that's how it works. I hate to be this guy, but how is... We're gonna lose that? I guess that is pure heavy cavalry as... Sorry. That's pure heavy cavalry as a stack. Oh. Oh, the French peasants are the soil, aren't they? So that's just pure heavy cavalry. Yeah, we might actually lose that. 1 second. Oh, God. That's terrifying. Yeah, they know that. They're just marching in. Uh-oh. That's terrifying. Well, we're trading relatively well considering the fact this is just a French nobility. But that's... Oh, God. I thought they were just 1 province away. We might just lose this. I think we do just lose this. That's insane. I'm sorry. That's absolutely insane. Wow. French quality be like, but I mean, it's just heavy cavalry's broken, but still. All right. Can these guys win at least? Oh. Oh, we 10-1 them. Oh, no. Well, there go the French noble levies. Those are gone now, though. So that's something. Right, we still need to be... You need to be ferrying food. Well, the good news is this is basically a free war now because the French peasants are the source, so all their levies are actually irrelevant. So yeah, it turns out the meta is let the French peasants get upset and then have France declare war upon you. Why doesn't England just do that in all their games? Brittany, you're on defensive. What part of the town of Montauban is defensive? How did you even get here? What? I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. They're on defensive. They've been on defensive the whole time. What is this? What is this defensive? This is the south of France. You've crossed half of the country. What do you mean you're defending? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the war is going great, but we have got the next technology, and as these sieges continue, again, it's such a dream to fight France when their levies are down. Would really recommend it if you're ever in finding yourself in a war against the French. Just hope the French peasants are upset. Very effective tactic. But nevertheless, we have our upgrade time. We have the Bohemian Holy Roman Standing immediately stands up. We have defensive army. What does that do? That's not bad, actually. Bohemian Holy Roman Standing gives us a dip prep and a dip capacity. That seems pretty good. Or we get a strong rule. Honestly? Crown power is not bad. Crown power is not bad. A dip prep and a dip capacity, though, is also very nice. We're not struggling with dip cap, though. Or dip rep, to be honest, but we could definitely have more dip capacity, so... Like, the 10% crown power is nice, but if it was, like, maybe 25% or something, I would have taken it, but a dip prep and a dip capacity, I will take that. Wonderful. Right, but next on our list, we're going to continue expanding our normal holdings, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this. The idea is just to release a big Normandy at the end of this war. We've also just had a normal defector, so we've also lifted Fog of War, just to really rub in how amazing we are, I guess. The French are regrouping. It's something to be aware of, though. Yeah, probably shouldn't grow too complacent. And the thing is, once their peasants are loyal, we should wrap this whole thing up. Ah, Flemish turncoats. Well, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. You guys can be out. Right, next we're going to have to go ahead and grab you. That's fine by me. Beautiful. I don't even need to siege the whole of Normandy. They're already happy to lay down and surrender. Disloyal subjects being happy to peace out for their entire annexation is, on the one hand, very frustrating when it happens to you, but on the other hand, this is probably the single most overpowered thing inside of the game at the moment for eating people like France in the early game. Because I am sorry, I got very lucky with France just having disloyal subjects, and I'm looking at this antagonism list, and, okay, it's actually pretty bad. I mean, most of these aren't just French subjects, and we're getting to the high 50... I'm gonna press the button, it'll be fine. Also, we're basically funding the entire war effort by piecing out with those people, but yeah, okay, there we go, there's Normandy. I'm gonna take this now, I think. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I? Why shouldn't I? Well, there goes Alencourt, sure, why not? We've now got a very pretty Normandy. Right, I do believe this is the rest of... it's not even the French army, it's the Alencourt army, isn't it? Actually, wait, that's bad. If this is... no, this is main. This is... okay. Just need to make sure that they stay disloyal. I don't want to beat them up too hard, so you can... Can I just release them? Whatever. Yeah, see, here's the issue. These guys I can't peace out because they're loyal now, because I've beaten up so hard there. Smacked them back into loyalty. Wait, is that because France says... No, okay. But anyway, you guys should rush down and you need to relieve this fort. Oh no, sorry, Maine is a subject of Anjou, so I need to piece out Anjou for all of... Okay. I see it. Alright, it's time for our newest upgrades. I mean, not that I need much of it, but yeah, we have a couple options, and I can already see probably the best one. Can pick up the Edict of Torda for. That's actually really good. Unification in Faith also gives us. That's also pretty good, not gonna lie. 20% cultural capacity is pretty strong, and Honest True Faith. Or Flintlock Levy. Yep, we have Flintlock Levy available, so to be clear, Flintlock Levy, if we take a look, that is going to be 1.5 combat strength here, compared to Villagers, which is our previous levy of 1. Well, I guess actually we didn't have Villagers. I think we had Warbows. Yes, we did have Warbows, who are also just, well, 1. The other nice thing with Flintlock levies, of course, is 4 times the regiment size, which is very, very nice. So, yeah, I mean, again, for the foreseeable, this would be just an easy win with our levies, not that it's noticeable. But it's something that we also have to kind of keep an eye on, because these guys are running archers, footmen, horsemen, armored horsemen, camp followers, yeah. Like, at any point, you can just kind of step on a landmine where Anjou gets conscripts, and it's just over for you. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've been saving money in case I needed mercs or something, but I might just go upgrade my RGOs. Did France just see me and realize, you know what, we're not gonna fight, they can have a free war here? What is going on? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I've decided to open a debug mode back in because I want to check in what France is actually doing. And, yeah, oh, okay. Alright, France. So, the Petit Pois have access to communal lands. And they're pissed off. And they haven't. Why are you still taxing them? You have no. Just stop taxing. Just stop taxing them. And you'd have an army. What are you doing? Why is France incompetent the one time? I was going to have a nice video. I was going to be crushing the French. It's going to be a big fight. It's going to be these powerful French troops coming up against me, and I'm going to demolish them. Instead, the French turn around, tax their peasants to death, ride out with like 5k nobles, win a glorious victory, because turns out 5k heavy noble cavalry against 20,000 peasants is still a victory for the 5k noble cavalry. There's the problem. I had another 20k peasants stack near them, so, you know, they end up losing eventually. And now they've just... What is this? What is... They've been disloyal for ages. They're actually going to rise up, genuinely. What are they doing? What are they doing? Doing the Privy Council, yeah, that'll do it. Oh, right. Well, to be fair, they have gone with the Royal Academy Fortification, Artillery, and Drawing, so they've got... This is actually quite a nice bonus. Shame that Cavalry doesn't exist, but they've also picked up the Yulin 2K for 5% free production tax efficiency, sure. So you can see they've been... They have the Prince. They actually have... They've got... Okay. And then there's a possible government form from that. And they've picked up, wow, another 10% efficiency of cabinet. So... the mod works, I guess. Good to know. All the French nobles died in battle, and all the French peasants have been taxed to death, and so they're disloyal. I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm going to load back the save before I open debug mode. And on that note, the Siege of Paris is successful. We've captured View or Summer. But okay, right, so if I'm not mistaken, what stops me winning the 100 Years' War? Apparently not much of anything. Okay, could I just annex Anjou as... They'll say no to that. They'll draw the line at me annexing Anjou, but they will... Okay. Do I even care? I think the optimal route here is actually taking max money. Because max money is also an absolute fortune, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Oh my god, okay. Yeah, and forget... Well, no, I think I would want war reps anyway. Yeah, there's the peace deal. I'm gonna go 100% them just to, I guess, send a message. Why doesn't France do this in any of my, like, AI onlys? Why is France incompetent exclusively against me? And, yeah, with that siege down here, that's it. They're willing to give me 100% war score. They'll give me war reps, they'll give me money, and they will give me the throne of France. Again, I'm flabbergasted because, you know what, screw the money. Actually, I'm going to take the throne of France, and I'm going to take Anjou, my ancestral lands, quote-unquote, and 1359. Union formed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was it. England wins the Hundred Years' War. We've emerged victorious in a long and bitter conflict known as the Hundred Years' War. We are not very good at counting. This was like a 7 Years' War tops. The French crown has been forced to acknowledge the English territorial claims and make significant concessions, as in we took it. The French crown has not been forced to do that. We just took the French crown, and we've brought newfound prestige and influence to the English throne. Absolutely. Um, Yay, 1,000 score. We've concluded the situation, and we get a victory in the nice. This was expect. No, it wasn't, but there we go. Hello, it's been a while. I did some testing with the mod just to see maybe the mod screwed over France. So I ran this mod. I ran this mod and a bunch of other mods. I trying to isolate it as much as possible. Maybe Glorp UI was doing it. No, this one campaign, and apparently this one campaign only, France decided to annoy the peasants. I haven't been able to replicate it. Honestly, I don't even know what to say at this point. Beyond that, no, the mod is functional, as you can see, between all of the modifiers working like that, and being able to get the new levy types and everything. So that's all nice. If you do want to check it out, links will be available in the description. Just don't expect to win as easily as I did here. I don't even know what to say anymore, but I guess that's not much more is necessary to be said, because for what it's worth, that is unfortunately all the time I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching, with a special thank you to Ark, Solus, Lemon, Zendika, Nikastan, Hatan, Star 72, The Awesome Rabbit, Best for Gaming, Grandma Flavia, Lebarule, W. Hayes, Sol, Anthony 35, AC Napo, Conspiracy Pizza, Yukata, Danray, Marby, Jack, Ryden, Sir Talon, Andrew Black, Nebula, Zentronic, Twinit, Aquabird, Yakuman, Barak, Lord Sorfin, Tyquon, and Klopcock.